is fixed at one end in the wall, and here you see at this end at x equal to 0, your deflection is 0, and also your slope is 0. Slope of the deflection curve is 0 at x equal to 0, where cantilever is fixed. So the fixed end does not allow the cross-sectional plane to rotate. So that is why rotation is 0 there. So first we find the reactions. We draw free body diagram of the entire cantilever. So external force is P downwards. So on the left way, you will have a vertical force to balance this downward force. Now you see these two forces make a couple. Lavish Gupta, are you muted or you are still having?
Yes, I'm not muted.
Yeah, mute yours. So you see these two make a couple, and it will be a clockwise couple. So the wall has to exert a counterclockwise movement to balance this clockwise. So you know the reactions caused by the wall onto the cantilever. Now we want to draw shear force and bending moment diagram. So we can take a plane XX that will be to the left of the force P, and plane YY which is to the right of force P. So this way we'll get bending moment force, shear force values from 0 to L by 2 and L by 2 to L. So we draw free body diagram of part to left of plane XX. Plane XX can be anywhere between 0 and L by 2. So you draw the free body diagram at position X, you take this plane XX. So these are your force and movement coming from the support. You see this face at the right hand as a normal vector in positive X direction. So this cross-sectional plane has a normal vector in positive X direction. So positive direction of shear force will be upwards, and positive direction of bending movement will be counterclockwise. Is that clear, Lavish?
सो एक डाउट मतलब मुझे आ रहा है कि ये जो हम एम की डायरेक्शन लेते हैं ये किस बेसिस पे लेते हैं?
Look, we all like the way I do. I don't say what other books do. I take V and M always positive. And V and M will be always positive when if the plane is having normal vector in positive X direction, they should have positive force and positive movement as per static sign convention. So you see force is upwards, so shear force is positive. Movement is counterclockwise, so bending moment is positive. You see this drawing. Here I have drawn free body diagram to the right of this plane YY. So positive shear force is downwards because area normal of this face is negative. So you need negative vertical force and negative movement. So you see this clockwise movement. So bending movement and shear force have sign convention similar to stresses. You need both the area normal as well as force movement as per static sign convention. The combination results in a positive or negative shear force and bending moment. This I have already explained many times. Now is it okay, Lavish?
Yes, sir.
So since it is a right face and area normal is in positive X direction, I have taken these directions for shear force and bending moment. So whatever be the reality, that doesn't matter. I start like this. Now V plus P is equal to 0. So V is equal to minus P for force equilibrium in y direction. For moment equilibrium, you take moment about this position. So V will not contribute. This counterclockwise movement is M. This is also counterclockwise movement. This is PL by 2. And this will cause a clockwise movement about this point minus Px. So you get M as P into x minus L by 2. Any doubts anybody has? This is very basic stuff and it should be known correctly. Now if you take free body diagram of part to right of YY, plane YY, you see there is no external force on this part of the cantilever. So V and M will be 0. So nothing your left half has to do on the right half to maintain equilibrium. Since no force and movement are there on this part of the cantilever, nothing is required to be done. So sigma Fy is 0, V is equal to 0. Sigma Mz, if you draw, this is clockwise, minus M, it is 0. And if you look at this, you see at x is equal to L by 2, your movement is coming 0, which is matching with this. Shear force has a discontinuity at x is equal to L by 2. If you draw shear force and bending moment diagram, so you get a value of minus P up to x is equal to L by 2. Similarly, bending moment, you put x equal to 0 here, you get minus PL by 2. Put x is equal to L by 2, you get 0. And in after x is equal to L by 2, you have got 0 values. You see here. Any problem with this shear force and bending moment diagram? Lavish, is it okay?
Yes, sir.
Now you see, we did this problem earlier of a cantilever of length L, and load was applied at the far end. Now load is applied at middle of the cantilever. So you can find deflection at this position and also slope of the cantilever at this position. So deflection of the cantilever at x equal to L by 2 will be equal to minus PL cube by 3EI. But length of the cantilever till this position is L by 2. So this is the answer you get. Rotation at this point is minus PL square upon 2EI. But L here is L by 2. So those are the formulas you found for a cantilever. Did I do the cantilever earlier?
Yes, sir. We have discussed partially.
Okay, okay. So you see this is the rotation at this position x equal to L by 2. Now you see after L by 2 your movement is 0. So there won't be any rotation of the cross-sectional plane. Whatever you see, your beam becomes like a straight line. Till now it was curving. Now it is acting like a straight line. So whatever was the rotation here of the cross-sectional plane, same rotation will be here. So theta at x is equal to L is also same as theta is equal to x is equal to L by 2. As bending moment is 0 in this portion. Now you want deflection at x is equal to L. What is the deflection here? This deflection plus this value. This you had already calculated. This how you will calculate this rotation into length L by 2. Rotation at x equal to L by 2 multiplied by L by 2. Simple trigonometry. So you get minus 5 by 48 PL cube by EI. Hello. So you can get deflection and slope at the end of the cantilever. Now also look at this. Your load was P here. You can say your load intensity is minus P into direct delta x minus L by 2. If you integrate this Q from minus infinity to infinity or 0 to L, you get minus P direct delta x minus L by 2 dx. Now direct delta function, if integrated over the entire range, over the entire domain, gives you only 1. So you get only minus P. So this loading intensity is all right. This kind of a representation. Now you see dV by dxy is equal to minus Q. This relation I had derived, I think. So dV by dx is equal to minus, and what is your Q? Minus P direct delta x minus L by 2. So your dV by dx is this. So you see direct delta function is 0 at all points except x equal to L by 2. So slope of this shear force diagram you see is 0 everywhere except at x is equal to L by 2, where it is like infinity. So direct delta function has infinite value at x equal to L by 2. Now also you see this was another equation I had derived. Slope of the bending moment is minus v. So value of v is minus p. It is equal to p between x equal to L by 2. So you see here this slope is equal to p up to L by 2, and after that it is 0. So you see these equations work well for shear force and bending moment diagram. If you take the slope of this bending moment curve, you see it is equal to P, and shear force will be minus that slope. So that is matching. You can just cross check such stuff. Now there is another method of doing this. This kind of an equation will be valid for your beam. EI into fourth order differential, fourth order derivative of y is equal to Q. So this we'll do again later on. Something is wrong here, so I'm skipping it for the present. Another method is bending moment is given by this expression up to L by 2. After that it is 0. So you find deflection curve for 0 to L by 2 and for L by T2. L. You see there are two different relations. So you need different deflection curves. For this part, since slope is second derivative is 0, m is equal to 0 means the second derivative is 0, so y has to be some linear polynomial, cx plus d. So we have to find deflection curve from both the parts and equate the slope and deflection at x equal to L by 2. And that will give us the value of C and D. So now we are finding deflection curve for the first half, 0 to L by 2. This is our differential equation. This is the moment in that region. You integrate, you get this. You apply boundary conditions of the cantilever at x equal to 0, deflection is 0, slope is 0. You get these constants of A and B. So your deflection curve becomes this. So you can find the value of deflection and slope at x equal to L by 2 from this equation. And also from this equation, you can find the value of deflection and slope. What is the value of deflection at x equal to L by 2? CL by 2 plus D. And this you equate what is coming from this equation. Similarly, slope of this equation at x equal to L by 2 is C. And from the left part, it is coming this. So for continuity of the beam, deflection and slope should be same at the point where force P is applied. Otherwise, your beam will lose continuity. If deflection is not there, and if slope is different, then it will have a kink there. Okay, and that is not there here because bending moment is not changing there. Is zero, is same at both the positions. It has come down to 0. So there cannot be a change in slope there. Unless there was a jump in bending moment at x equal to L by 2, you can't have a different slope for the two halves. So you have found the value of C and D from these conditions. And this is the expression for the deflection curve in this region, L by 2 to L. So at x is equal to L, you put the value and you get this answer, which I had calculated earlier in this same slide. Any questions, gentlemen? Anyone has any query, let me know. Lavish, are you comfortable with it?
Yes, sir.
Any questions?
No, sir.
Because now
Sir.
I am banking on you. If you don't understand, then I think nobody is understanding.
सर
Yeah.
सर कास्टिंग लेनो मेथड इसी को ही कहते हैं?
No, that is different. I will tell you later. This is all simple integration procedures. Okay.
ये डबल इंटीग्रेशन मेथड है?
Yeah, you can say that. Okay.
क्योंकि बुक में अलग अलग नाम लिखे हैं ना, डबल इंटीग्रेशन मेथड, कास्टिंग लेनो.
No, this is like a simple solving a differential equation.
Okay,
You
sir.
have the differential equation. Since if the differential equation is second order, you have to integrate twice. If you have a differential equation of fourth order, you have to integrate 4 times. So you can call it double integration. Okay.
Okay, sir.
Now it is for a uniformly distributed load. So Lavish, you start off. Let me see what you are talking. Describe it and explain to the students.
This is a condition of uniformly distributed load, which means that per unit mass is distributed uniformly along the total length of the beam. So distributed force intensity is equals to Q Newton per meter. Free body of the cantilever is shown in the below figure. For equation of equilibrium, forces in x direction equal to 0. Therefore, Ax is equals to 0. And forces in y direction is equals to 0. Therefore, Ay minus Ql is equals to 0. And Ay is equals to Ql. For net moment is equals to 0. M minus QL into L by 2 is equals to 0. M is equal to QL square by 2.
So, gentlemen, are things clear to the public? Hello, Lavish.
Yes, sir.
Did you find out from the students whether they are
No.
understanding?
No, sir, no.
You have to find out like I try.
So no one is replying.
So they are not understanding.
Sir,
Okay, let me only you have as my student. Okay, so I will worry only about you. What can I do? I can't see the public. If public has any question, they should ask. That is my thinking. If they are not asking, then I assume they are understanding. Okay. So at least you are a vocal fellow. You keep asking if you have any doubts. So you see, this is shear force and bending moment diagram for a uniformly distributed load. So we have a cantilever and we have a load Q. Intensity is Newton per meter. So what is the force, total load caused by this distributed load?
so Q into L.
Q into L. That is the total force downwards. Now if you draw free body diagram of this cantilever, since this is a fixed end, there are forces in x and y direction, and there is a moment. You see, sum of forces in x direction is 0. So there is only one force in x direction, Ax. So that will be 0. Sum of forces in y direction is 0. So forces in y direction are 0. So there is a vertical force Ay. And because of this distributed load, there is a force minus QL. Sum of these two is 0. So your vertical force Ay, your reaction force is Q into L. You take movement about point A. So this is a couple. So this will come, this is a counterclockwise couple. So it will be M only. M. And the couple caused by this force Q. You can assume this force is like a single force at middle position. Value Q into L. So that's an equivalent force for this distributed force. The force Q into L at the middle, at the centroid of this load diagram. So that will cause a clockwise couple movement about point A. So minus QL into L by 2. So you get M moment caused by the support here as Q into L square by 2. So these are very important. If you don't understand this, you will get a failure grade in this course. So if anybody has any problem, ask me.
एक्सक्यूज मी सर
Hmm.
सर जैसे प्रीवियस प्रॉब्लम में आपने कहा था कि जो नेगेटिव साइड में हम नेगेटिव मोमेंट लेते हैं मतलब क्लॉकवाइज डायरेक्शन में.
Look, this is still not free body. This is still not shear force diagram. This is free body diagram of the cantilever, and I am showing the movement and forces with static sign convention. I have not started drawing shear force and bending moment diagram. These are actual forces. These M is an actual movement.
ओके सर.
Now, what will the value of bending moment? Tell me the value of bending moment. You
Sir,
see now.
Q
You
is-
know.
Yes sir.
Now you know the free body diagram. This is a counterclockwise movement. This is a vertical force. What is the value of shear force here at this point? At
Sir,
the
Q,
fixed. Is it
Q into
positive
L.
shear force or negative shear force?
Sir, negative.
Correct. And what is the bending moment here? Positive,
Sir,
negative.
sir negative होना चाहिए. But
Because
positive.
area normal is negative
Yes, sir.
and static sign convention wise, these force and movement are positive. So they become negative.
Yes sir.
Shear force and bending moment are negative. So this is something nothing great about it. This is same thing as stress sign convention. In your books, they will do something rotating clockwise, counterclockwise, holding water. So I don't like all that rubbish. I like it this way. It is simple.
Yes sir. Now it is very much clear. Otherwise, a lot of confusion is arising.
Yeah. Those approaches are confusing. And this is done by a fellow called Crandall and Down. And it is neat and clean, according to me. So you got equations of equilibrium, you're done. You have found the reactions. Now we'd work on finding shear force and bending moment diagram. You take a plane like this, and now you draw free body diagram of the right half. You can draw the left half also, no problem. So right half, these are the forces in the right half. Since it is the left face of this part of the cantilever, and this area normal is in negative x direction, you have to take downward force and clockwise movement. So they will qualify for a positive shear force and positive bending moment. Any doubts?
No sir.
So I have written here, directions of positive shear force and positive bending moment are downward and clockwise, as the left face has a negative area normal. If you do this way, you will never get into trouble. Now, what is the equations of equilibrium? Vertical force is sum. Now you see this force is downwards. So this is as per static sign convention. So this is minus V. And this force you see is downwards. So minus Q into L minus X. This length is L minus X. Total force becomes L minus X. Q into L minus X. But downwards. So you get your V is equal to Q into X minus L. Now if you take moment about the left face, one approach is this entire force is Q into L minus X. You apply it in the middle of this part of the beam. So it is at position L minus X by 2. So you can find movement. This movement is counterclockwise, so minus M. And this movement is also, clockwise, so minus M. Plus this movement is QL minus X into L minus X by 2 clockwise. So you get minus M plus Q into L minus X whole square by 2. So your M is equal to this answer you get. Another way is you do the integration. You take a position xi from this end and take a length d xi. So what is the value of downward force here? Q into design. हेलो नमस्ते। हाँ बताइए। हाँ जी कब आएंगे आप? अच्छा आ जाइए आप। हाँ बिल्कुल। हाँ जी। ये साईं बाबा के से अगला है। हाँ साईं बाबा के बाद सड़क पार करोगे आ जाएगा ये। अच्छा शक्ति के बाद, हाँ शक्ति के बाद, ठीक है। ओके ओके थैंक यू। So you see this? So you want to find movement because of this distributed force. You assume this length is d xi. So the force will be q into d xi. It is at position xi. Now you take movement about this hand. So this force q d xi will cause a movement xi into q d xi. Xi into q d xi. Since it is a clockwise movement, it will be minus. And your xi will go from 0 to L minus x. Your xi is starting from here. 0 to L minus x, you have to integrate. So total movement is, this is minus m. V is not causing any movement about this position, left position. Only movement will be caused by this distributed force. This has to be 0. So your m becomes, after integration, this is q xi square by 2 to take the limits. So two approaches give the same answer. So suppose the force, this distributed force was linearly varying instead of uniformly varying. You could have used this trick. Lavish, is it okay?
Yes, sir.
Is it difficult?
No, sir, but it's conceptual.
Okay, so nothing great about it. You take a linearly varying distributed force. This way you can do. Okay. Now you plot shear force diagram and bending moment diagram. Shear force was Q into x minus L. So you put x equal to 0. So at left hand you get minus QL. It goes to 0 at x equal to L. Similarly, bending moment. At x equal to 0, you get minus QL square by 2. At x equal to L, you get a 0. And you see it's a quadratic curve. If you plot it, it will be like this. You look at the slope of this curve. You see what is the slope of bending moment diagram? Minus V. Minus V. Minus V is the slope. So this slope is, you see it is a negative value. So your slope is positive. You see here slope is positive. And finally the slope is going to 0. So this way the curve will go. It will not go like this. In this case, curve slope is going to infinity, starting with less value and going to infinity. Here you have maximum slope, because it is minus, so it becomes positive, goes to 0. So you have to see how your curve is going. Anyway, if you draw this curve using your knowledge of geometry and calculus, you will see this curve is looking like this only. Lavish, is it okay?
Yes, sir. Fine.
So you should know how to make plots. You see y is equal to x square. Y is equal to x square is something like this. Y is equal to minus x square, something like downwards. And you have got something like this. So you have to shift your parabola. So it is a shifted parabola downwards. Have you seen the book called G.V. Thomas, Calculus and Analytical Geometry? Lavish?
No, sir.
You go to the library, get hold of that book.
So which one? Could you please repeat?
Calculus and Analytical Geometry by G.V. Thomas.
By G.V. Thomas. Okay, sir.
Thomas and Finney. It's a very famous book. So you will see how to plot curves. That has a full chapter on plotting curves. Plotting curve is not a big deal, but you should know how to do it. So you see, this is, I already shown from the boundary condition, from the support reactions, that these boundary bending moment and shear force diagram are all right. This is another thing I told you. This slope is this slope is this. So we get shear. You see, you have a loading intensity Q. So your dV by dx is minus Q. You see here dV by dx is. What is the slope of this diagram? It's a positive slope. And since your Q is negative here, so dV by dx becomes positive. This Q is for upward direction, minus Q. And actual Q here is downward. So there is a minus sign in it. So dV by dx becomes this. So this is slightly confusing, okay? This is from the formula, from the equation. And this Q is actually, in this case, it is minus Q. Same for shear slope of the bending moment diagram, minus V. Your V is, we already found is Qx minus L. So you put that value. You say, look at the movement diagram, movement curve, you take the derivative. You will see it is matching with this. It is Q into L minus X. While here it is V is this. Any doubt?
No, sir.
Okay. So I did another thing. dV by dx is given as this. Integrate. You get V is equal to Qx plus C. At x is equal to L, you know shear force is 0. You get this expression for V. So all these things are getting to the same thing by different approaches. Now deflection curve is given by this standard equation. EI second derivative is equal to bending moment. Bending moment you found is this expression. Now you integrate. Simple integration. Double integration. Now you know C and want to find C and D. At x is equal to 0, these are given to be 0. Since it is a cantilever, so you get these values of constant. So your deflection curve is this. Put the value of x is equal to L, you get deflection at the end point. You get the slope at the end point. If you want to find strain energy of bending, you find the work done by force Q. You see this great man is joining. I don't know where he has disappeared. So what you want to work straight, find strain energy of bending. So you see, initially cantilever is straight on. You apply load, it bends. So all these forces go down by a different distance. So this force here at this position x is q dx. It will go down by a displacement y. So you will say work done by this force q dx is half into y into q dx. If this force is downwards, so it is negative. So minus q dx. So this is the work done by this element, this force on this element. So what is the total work done? You integrate from 0 to L. Half factor is coming because this force is quasi-statically applied. You are not applying like a step load at time t is equal to 0. It is gradually applied over 1 second or 10 seconds. So quasi-statically applied, otherwise kinetic energy gets generated. I had explained with string. So you know deflection y given by this expression. You have to simply integrate. This integration is giving you this answer. You see, strain energy is always positive. So you are getting a positive answer. That is good. Another expression I told you for strain energy of bending is this. Bending moment expression we had found earlier. So you integrate from 0 to L and you will find you are getting the same answer. Now I am finding deflection and slope by some another method. Bending moment is given by this expression for here. Now you know 1 by R is m by EI. So this is your cantilever which has bent. At this position, this is a tangent. At this position, this is a tangent. So this arc length is ds. Angle, you draw a perpendicular to this tangent, perpendicular to this tangent. So this is the angle between these two lines. So this d theta shows the amount of rotation of this tangent between this length ds. So ds is equal to r d theta. Simple trigonometry. Theta is in radians. So 1 by r becomes d theta by ds. We just take it there on this side. So this you can say is roughly d theta by dx. If your rotations are small, ds is equal to dx. I talked about it earlier also. So you can write instead of 1 by r, d theta by dx is equal to m by ei. So you say d theta is equal to m by ei dx. If you integrate between a and b, two positions of x, you get theta b minus theta a, and you do this integration. So you want to do between 0 and L at theta x is equal to 0 at x equal to 0 for a cantilever. So this integration is this. So you get theta at x equal to L. Same as calculated above. Okay. I'll share with you these slides. So you can go and read them again. Again, you can find the deflection. Now I found the rotation. Slope at this position. You see, this is a curve. If you draw two tangents at any point, at this point, this point. So this angle is theta. This shows the rotation of the tangent over length dx. So this will make an intercept at x is equal to L. This intercept is d theta into this length. If this distance is x, this distance is L minus x. So this intercept becomes L minus x into d theta. So I written rotation of tangent in length dx is d theta. Intercept on line x equal to L is this. Total deflection at this position will be.
So can you please wait? I'm not able to get it.
Okay, I will explain. So total deflection here is, you see different tangent, you start with drawing tangents to this curve. So all those tangents will end up building up this deflection. So you have to integrate, you see, between two positions, you have a length dx, angle rotation is d theta. So this intercept becomes, by just simple r d theta, this distance is radial distance is L minus x. L minus x into this rotation is d theta. So this is a simple intercept on the line x is equal to L. At x equal to L, you have drawn a vertical line. So this is the intercept. Do you understand this, Lavish? L minus x d theta. This is simple, your ds is equal to r d theta stuff. Here your length is L minus x and rotation is d theta. And arc is equal to chord because the angles are small. So intercept is this. You want total deflection, so you have to integrate from 0 to L. You see your rotation is happening from here, starting from 0 to this maximum value. So you have to do this integration over the entire length. Instead of d theta, you write d theta by dx into dx. D theta by dx you already know is m by ei. So this is the integration. So this is your m by ei integration methods. Okay. There are several methods. M by ei integration you get change of angle. And here I am doing integration of the movement. I will show you. So your deflection becomes this. Simple integration, you get same answer. So what you are doing, if you find area between the curve and x-axis, you find amount of rotation of tangent. If you find movement of area about x is equal to L, about this line, if you find movement of this area, then you get the deflection at x is equal to L. So, Lavish, how is it? Do you understand?
Yes, sir, I understand.
So, not a big deal. Given in your books also, and I have put it in a very simple way. Basic approach is this. You have to do according to this physical picture. Then you will not make any mistake. Any questions about this distributed loading problem? This is one good problem. Not difficult to understand. Anybody has any question? Darshan Lal, are you there with me? You guys have to work hard at home. If you don't work back, you will forget what I teach. Things don't stay in the mind for long. You have to go revise, do it yourself. That is the only trick. Not much time is left for the semester. Darshan
Sir,
Lal, are you happy or unhappy?
sir,
You have to work. Lavish Gupta is fine. Okay. If you guys want to discuss with him, you arrange a meeting and sort out your doubts. Look, engineers have to live by collaboration. If you don't collaborate, cooperate, you will fail in the industry. So you have to learn from each other. Teacher has taught, his notes are there with you. You have got your books, Python and others. You have to struggle on your own with the help of your friends. I don't know how many people are understanding because in the class I could ask, raise hands. Now here I am at a loss. So I hope everybody is listening and understanding. And anyway, I'm also making a recording. I will put it on the Google Drive for you guys to follow. Beyond it, I can't do any further.
सर डिफ्लेक्शन कर्व का यूज करके पॉइंट ऑफ कॉन्ट्राफ्लेक्शन कैसे निकालते हैं?
Okay, we'll do that also. Okay.
वो आपने सैगिंग और हॉगिंग का बताया था ना, तो उसी में उससे कुछ बुक में आया था आगे.
Okay, I will tell you about this contraflexion, etc. Right now, I am more worried about different problems you do using this approach. So look in this example, I covered strain energy of bending. I covered this M by EI method. Okay. So now you see I will do something different. You see, this is another problem. Probably I did a problem where I applied a movement at the far end. Did I do, Lavish?
Yes, sir.
I applied a movement on the right end of the beam and found the deflection curve. Did I do it?
No, sir, no.
Okay, never mind. So it is at the left end, it is applied. So you have applied a movement at the left end. So there will be reactions. You see, it's a simply supported beam. It's a hinge, so there will be four reaction, horizontal and vertical. There is a reaction vertical here. It's a roller support. Now this is an externally applied movement at this end. So if our aim is to find the reactions, you see you have got three unknowns, and you know there are three equations of equilibrium for a 2D situation. So force equilibrium in x direction, y direction, and z direction. So Ax is 0. Force in equilibrium in y direction, Ay plus By is equal to 0. So Ay is equal to minus By. Then you take movement about this position A. So this m0 is external movement, counterclockwise, so it will stay there as such. This is causing a clockwise movement, By. Sorry, it is also causing a counterclockwise movement. So plus By into L. So these two are 0, so you get By is equal to this. And from here you get Ay is equal to this. Any problem in finding reactions?
No, sir.
I wish you are fine with it.
Yes.
So now we have got the reactions. We show the reactions the way they are there. M0 by L on the left face. By is vertically downwards, so we have shown it downwards. Now we want to find shear force bending moment diagram. Take a section at position X. You draw free body diagram of the left half. So you have to show positive directions as this V and M. Since area normal is positive, so now you want to find M and V. So you see, you have to use static sign convention. V plus M naught by L is equal to 0. So you get V is this. You take movement about the right face. So M is this movement counterclockwise. This is also counterclockwise M naught. They get added. And this force is going to cause a clockwise movement about this end of this value. So you get M is equal to this. So this is a bending moment at position X. So you plot the shear force and bending moment diagram. You see it is minus M naught by L. Put X equal to 0. You get minus M naught. And it goes to 0 at this end. You see here, external movement is counterclockwise M naught. So negative phase. So minus M naught. Here there is no movement, external or otherwise. So you get a 0 movement. So bending moment is linearly going, changing. Any doubt, Lavish?
No, sir.
So you get your deflection curve equation. Put your bending moment here, which we calculated earlier. Simple integration business. So you calculate your C and D. I get my deflection curve. So this is my deflection curve for this. Earlier I had done for movement at the right end. This was the equation that was coming. If in this equation you put L is equal to M, X is equal to L minus X, you will get this equation. You have to just check it out. Hello, gentlemen. Suppose you want to do, you apply moment at both the ends. Then you know the deflections because of right hand movement and left hand movement. So you add it up, both these values, both these expressions. So I have just added up both of them. This is positive movement. Here also there is a positive movement, but here there is a negative movement. So you have to subtract this expression from this expression, and you will get this answer. Similarly, you will get expression for slope, and you will find we had done this problem in the beginning. This move was a pure bending situation. So you see that your answer is same as before. So here you did a superposition of two examples, and you got the same answer. Now here what you have done, you have applied a move. You have put your bar like this, and you have an axial load. Lavish, are you there? Hello?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Suppose there is an axial load. Suppose there is an eccentricity in this load. It is at a distance E. So you can, actual load is this at a distance E from the axis. So you can add another two equally equilibrated loads. So that doesn't change the situation. This situation and this situation are same because you have added two equilibrated loads. But you see these two P are making a movement, a clockwise movement, and the value is P into E. And this vertical force is now axial. Now this force, axial load, will not cause any bending moment. Only bending moment will be caused by P into E. So if this load doesn't is this beam doesn't deflect, doesn't have any transverse deflection. Now you can find the support reactions. So you try to interpret, Lavish, I am just coming. Okay.
Okay, sir.
Hello, are you there?
Yes, sir.
So you see, there is a movement here. So if we draw free body diagram, so right now I'm finding the support reactions. So there will be a vertical force P.
Excuse me, sir.
Yeah.
ऊपर वाले प्लेन में दो सपोर्ट रिएक्शंस होंगे ना, हमने एक क्यों कंसीडर किया?
So there is a support reaction here, By. Net force in y direction is By. Okay. Like there are two support reactions, suppose, but total sum you can replace by By.
And that force है basically.
It may be right or left. Sign will become opposite. Look, any two forces in the same line, you can add up. There is a net force. Any problem? Look, whenever you're doing force equilibrium, movement equilibrium, you can translate the force in the same direction. It is the law of translation of forces. So law of transmissibility of forces. That will not affect your equilibrium. If you have got force in like this, you can translate it in any direction. So force was horizontally both the sides. You can take them to one in the same direction. So net force becomes sum of the two. Any issue?
No.
You look at law of transmissibility. It is already explained in Mariam, statics, first part. I think in the very first chapter, he explains law of transmissibility. So you see, you have By here, and here this force, this support causes reactions, Ay and P. We find these two, Ay plus By is equal to 0. Force equilibrium in x direction. This P is balancing with this P. Now there is a movement. You do movement equilibrium, take movement about this point A. So By will cause a movement clockwise about this point. And this movement P is also clockwise, so you get value of By. Ay, so you get minus By. You see, I have the way coordinate system I have taken. X is downwards positive, Y is like this. So your Z-axis is this. I have shown incorrectly going into the board. It should be coming out of the board. Okay. Any problem with this?
No, sir.
Suppose this column deflects. Yes, this is vertical. Your neutral surface. Neutral surface takes this situation. So this is the position of y. Position y of the neutral surface at position distance x. So then the force applied here is P. If you take a cross section, you take this is a free body diagram of the upper half. There will be a vertical force here balancing this P, and a movement balancing the moments. So you see here, if you do movement equilibrium about this point, M plus P into Y minus this distance is Y from the center.
So actually this part is not very much clear.
Okay, you see, this is a full cantilever. Sorry, this is like a column, you see. So this is the middle point of that column. And this load is applied eccentrically. And this is the deflect distance from the axis of the neutral surface. So this distance is Y. So distance from force P and Y becomes Y minus E. and this force is P. So this total movement at this point will be, this force is causing a counterclockwise movement. You see, P into y minus E is the value. This is already M, so your M becomes P into E minus y at this position. So you see, your axial force is also causing a movement because of the deflection of the column. Your column is deflecting. If it deflects, this force, axial force, is also causing a movement, bending moment about the at the cross section. So here you see there was already a bending moment in the beginning, and there is an axial load. So axial load is also causing a bending moment. In addition, there is a bending moment contribution from P. So this is the initial free body diagram we had drawn. We draw the free body diagram of the upper half. So you get bending moment contribution from, if you had not considered any deflection in the transverse direction. So this is what was coming. And this is because the transverse deflection, you get your movement. If there is no transverse deflection, this is also the movement at any position X. Now, because of the deflection, this additional term is coming. So that I have added up, P into E minus Y. So this is your M. So this is added up here, PE minus PY. PY. So you look at this. You look at it if there is any problem. I'm just coming. Okay. Okay, gentlemen. So you get bending moment, you put it here. So this is a deflection curve. So I'm just writing, if we ignore this term, P into Y, this is a simple case, you can find deflection. And you can find the total deflection curve with the boundary conditions. But if you want to do the If you do the full thing, your Py term comes to the left hand side. So for buckling, this is called the situation of buckling. You applied a compressive load to the column, and column deflects, and whatever is your axial load, with the increasing deflection, it causes increasing bending moment. So this is some non-linear situation. More the deflection, more the bending moment, more the bending moment, more the deflection. You see. So this is an ordinary differential equation with constant coefficients. For homogeneous differential equation, choose this as a solution, and you will get y homogeneous as this. Then particular solution, you see it's a linear polynomial. So this you can choose as this. So put this solution into this equation, and you will get the value of C and D, and you get a particular solution like this. So this becomes a total solution. So you want to find A and B, you put the values of these boundary conditions at x equal to 0, x equal to L, your deflections are 0. So this kind of a column is called pin-pin column. You have pinned at this end as well as this end. You are not allowing any deflection at the two ends, but rotation is allowed. So with these conditions, you get this kind of a solution. So you will see these terms are of finite value. But this term here, you see sine kx upon tan kl. If your kl becomes equal to pi by 2, you will have 10 pi by 2. Sorry, if kl is equal to 0, then tan 0 is 0, or kl is equal to pi. You have a 0 in the denominator, and you will have infinite value of the deflection. So if you say kl is equal to n pi, and the value of k you see was root p by ei. Earlier we had done it. So you get a value of p at which you get in very large deflections. So this is a case of buckling. So this is little in advance. Main thing here you have to see is how to find movements and bending movements, and how to use them to find the deflection curve. So here we have also handed an axial load. So axial load plus there is a movement at the top end. So that movement is causing a deflection because of the eccentricity of the load, and further axial load is adding to the deflection. Lavish, how is it?
Yes, sir. Acha tha.
Okay. So you look at it. I will be loading these things. Not a big deal. You can break down these things. So now I will do another problem where things were better off. Not this. So this is also for a point force on the simply supported beam. This I have not done, I think, till now. So I applied a force in the middle. So this is position A. So this length is L minus A. Again, you find reactions. So there it's a hinge support. So reaction will be in X and Y direction. It's a roller support. So you have only reaction in the Y direction. Sum the forces in X direction. You get AX is equal to 0. No other force in X direction. Sum the forces in Y direction. AY plus BY minus P is equal to 0. You get this.
सर ये 0 क्यों होगा? ये तो P के इक्वल होगा ना, AY plus BY.
I think I made some mistake here. AY plus BY is equal to P. Implies AY is equal to minus BY. So you ignore this. Something is wrong here. So it now take movement about point A. So this force P is called in minus PA, and this force BY is called in BY into L. So you get By is equal to Pa by L. And then Ay is equal to P minus By. P minus By. By is Pa by L. So here I have fixed it up. So somewhere this is wrong. Okay. You ignore it. Now we draw bending moment diagram. So we draw free body diagram of, we take a section like this. So we draw free body diagram of this half. Similarly, we take a section like this and we draw free body diagram of the right half. No issue. So this way we will cover this part of the beam as well as this part of the beam. So free body diagram, something like this. You get bending moment at the right face. Similarly, here you get the bending moment of the, at this face. So these values are there. So you know the boundary conditions. The deflection curve to the left of x is equal to A. These are your deflection curve equation to integrate. So you know at x equal to 0, y is equal to 0, so d is equal to 0. Similarly here, you know at x is equal to L, y is equal to 0. You are integrating it. You see x is equal to L, y is equal to 0, you get some values of the constant. So this is a deflection curve to the right of the load and to the left of the load. So your y and deflection, your slope should be same at the point where load is applied. So you equate them, put the position of x as A where load P is applied. So you calculate the load, deflection and slope from both the equations. Then you equate the first top one and bottom one. You get two equations. Then you have to just solve them. You are looking for C and G. Okay, these are your two unknowns. So you get your G, you get your C. So you get your deflection. You get the slope at point A. If your A is equal to L by 2, you see your slope is 0 as you expected. If you apply load in the middle, you are getting a 0 slope just by symmetry. And this is a deflection. If your A was L by 2, you have a simple expression like this. Otherwise, this I have calculated. These calculations will give you a deflection at point x equal to A for a general situation. Okay. Any issue, Lavish? Is it difficult?
No, sir. So actually, I have practiced it earlier while doing the questions from Python, which you have given.
So this is fine with you, no problem.
So
Anybody else, if he has any issue? Look, you guys have to study at home. Otherwise, you will be at a loss. Now, this is the one problem I was telling you that whether I have done it before. Applied a movement at the far end. Same thing, finding reactions. Then finding shear force bending moment diagram. Then the shear force bending moment diagram are here. And then you see I had applied the movement at the right hand. External movement was at the right hand clockwise, you see. So bending moment diagram is also giving a positive M naught. At shear force, you see left hand is negative. Right hand, your boundary condition is this is downward, so it will negative shear force. So everything is matching. Your boundary conditions, your loads at the end boundaries match with whatever V and V bending moment you are getting. that you have to check. These are the equations. So I'm again testing whether my shear force bending moment diagram are correct, and you will find that they're okay. So you can read these things at your end. So now this is a bending moment equation. I put it into this equation. You see a bending moment variation is like this, m naught into x by L. So that variation I am using. Simple integration. Then you apply boundary conditions. The deflection is 0 at both the left side and right side. So you get your equation curve, and you find total change in rotation of the cross-sectional plane. And you see this is a total rotation. And then this is another thing. 1 by I is equal to m by EI. This was your m. So d theta is given by this expression. So simple integration can give you d theta change. This I had explained you in some other problem. So this integration, just bending moment integration, gives you the change in angle, rotation angle between the two cross-sectional planes. Lavish, is it all right with you?
Yes, sir.
I have slightly accelerated in this part because it is already repetition of what I taught.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
How do you find strain energy of bending here?
Sir, half.
Suppose I tell you this, I tell you the rotation of this cross-sectional plane. Can you find the strain energy of bending then?
Sir, half into work done by the force करेंगे ना?
Very good. Half into the half work done by this force movement. This movement is causing a rotation of this plane. So this movement is also rotating kind of. So half into m naught into rotation of the cross-sectional plane. Half is required because everything is quasi-statically done. So rotation of that plane at the right end is calculated here, m naught L by 3. So half into external movement into m naught L by 3 EI. So that gives you strain energy of bending. Whatever is the work done by the movement, that gets stored as strain energy. Other method to find strain energy is this kind of an integration. So d, this is a volume. So you write as dA into dx. You integrate. So sigma xx is nothing but Ey by r. So this squares, which you integrate over the cross-sectional plane. Y square dA integral over the cross-sectional plane gives you I. Everything else is constant over the cross-sectional plane. So this is what you get, m square upon 2 EI, strain energy of bending. I think I've done it before. Now value of m you put as m naught x by 2. Sorry, m naught into x. You see what is the value of bending moment. M naught x by L. So that you have to put there. See this equation. M is equal to m naught x by L. You put it there. Instead of m, you put m naught x by L. This integration, and you will get the same answer as given by the work done by the external movement. Lavish, did I do this? I think I have done this.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
So all these things are very important. You have to read them. So right now, I think I have done almost all of bending, except for a few things. One thing I have not done is the shear force. So still I have got 10 minutes. I will do the shear force business. So these things are not that simple, but not too difficult either. Suppose this is like this. So your bending moment diagram is this. What is your shear force diagram? It is 0. Shear force is 0 everywhere. Now, what is the meaning of shear force? You take any plane. So you draw free body diagram. External movement is here. So here there is a 0 shear force. You have got only a movement, and movement is generated by stresses, bending stresses. So your movement is, you see, how will this get bent? So your cross-sectional plane, it is going to cause rotation like this. Similarly here, look, this movement is going to rotate it. It will rotate it. So this is the way a beam is going to bend. This kind of a movement will cause a tensile stress here, compressive stress here. You see, this is a neutral surface. Contraction in this upper layer and tension in the lower layer. Stretching of the lower fibers. So that means there is tensile stress here and compressive stress here. On this face, there is a compressive stress, tensile stress. If you look at the net force, you see these two are making a couple and a movement like this. So this movement is balancing this M naught. But there is no other force. There is no vertical force here. Only forces in x direction. Now, this was a case of pure bending. Suppose you had something different. Now you have a situation like this. You apply a force P. You draw a free body diagram of this half. You see, there has to be a force P here to equilibrate it. And you see there is a movement. These two are making a couple and there is a movement like this. So there has to be a movement like this. This movement has to be exerted by the left part. Left part exerts this movement on the right part. Now you see this movement has to be, you see the deflection curve. This is the way your curve is deflecting, central surface. So this is the way it will be bending. So there is tension on this surface and compression on the lower surface. So you see if you draw the stresses, tensile here, compressive here. You see the net resultant is like this. So they are causing a couple like this, as I have shown. Lavish, is it okay?
सर थोड़ा सा डाउट है यहाँ पे.
So like you see, this bending moment is caused by sigma xx. And there is also, you see, there is a vertical force. What is causing this vertical force? How vertical force is being caused? So there has to be some forces here on this plane. And these forces are vertical, you see. So what stress they will represent? You see this cross-section plane. What is this cross-sectional plane? What is the normal vector to this plane? In which direction?
So positive x.
Look, this is in negative x direction, as it is in x direction. So normal vector is in x direction, though negative x direction. And this is which direction? Y direction. So these are shear stresses, you see, sigma yx. And they are providing this force P if you add them up. Do you get it?
Yes, sir.
Somewhere there has to be these forces, these shear stresses, to provide this force P. Now you see this. When you had a pure bending, then I told you take any cross section. There is only a opposing movement to this. So there is no shear stress. So you say shear stress is zero. Okay. Now we have got this situation where we have got this load P. Now, if you look at the movements, what is the movement here? Zero. What is the movement here? If you draw its free body diagram.
PL.
So this force is P, this is P. So this is causing a clockwise movement. So there has to be a counterclockwise movement. So your bending moment diagram is like this. So you have a zero movement on this cross-sectional plane and maximum movement on this plane. So do you expect any stresses on this face? So you see this is going like this. So you are having tension here, compression here. So you have a tensile stress here. Sorry, I have drawn it wrong. Tensile stress here and compressive here. While there is no stress on this face, do you agree, Lavish? No, but there is no movement on this cross-sectional plane.
Yes, sir.
There cannot be any normal stress here. Agreed or not?
सर थोड़ा थोड़ा समझ आया.
Okay, but you see, there is only a movement. There are only stresses on the left face, no stresses on the right face. Now, if I just tell you, I want to draw only upper half, only this part of the beam. I want to draw a free body diagram. So what will happen? There are these stresses on this face. There is a force V here, P here. No force on this face. How do you equilibrate the body? You see, upper half is having a force in x direction. But if you take the full body, there is no net force in x direction. They are balancing. Only there is a movement. Now you look at this. How can you balance these forces? What is the value of these forces? You see your sigma x-axis my by I. Your m is here minus Pl. What is the maximum value of y here? H by 2. And you have got some I here. But this is a
Ly cube by 12.
ठीक है, BH cube by 12. And this stress is positive tensile. So I think there is a minus this. So this becomes plus. So this is a stress here. So maximum stress is, if you just look at it, 6, sorry, it has to be, yeah, 6 E into L by B H square.
Yes, sir.
This is the maximum value of your stress. E into L 6. Okay. So what is the total force on this face? Total force in x direction. Number one, it is in the negative x direction. Minus, you have to integrate this, you have to find the area of this triangle, minus half. What is the height of the triangle? H by 2. What is the maximum value of the base? 6 PA into L upon BH square. So what is the sum of the forces? Minus 6 by 4 or minus 3 by 2. PL upon BH. Any doubt?
सर इसमें फोर्स निकालने के लिए जो एरिया वो तो हम रेक्टेंगल का लेंगे, हमने ट्रायंगल का क्यों लिया?
लोड डायग्राम का लेंगे ना एरिया.
सर ओके.
अच्छा, another thing, load diagram, but you have to also multiply with the width direction. The whole thing is repeating along the width. So you multiply with the width also to get the total force. So you are getting minus 3 by 2 PL by H. Okay. Otherwise it would have been for a unit depth. Now it is for depth equal to B. So this is the total force on this face in x direction. How will you equilibrate this force, Lavish?
Sorry sir.
How can you equilibrate this force? Look, if there is no other force on this part, upper half, then this body will start traveling in left direction. So this right half is applying some force to not let it go away.
Yes sir.
Can you say there is a force like this on the right half?
क्यों सर, ऐसा क्यों?
Look, otherwise this will start traveling in left direction. Right, the fellow in the bottom won't let it go away. It's an integral body. So it has to exert a force on this plane in the right direction. So what is the total force on this body? How much force is required to be generated? Amount this value. So what is the, how will you call, what will you call this stress? Tau xy. Force is in x direction. Area normal is in y direction. So this stress is tau xy. Your force value is minus 3 by 2 PL by H. About what length is this force applied? What area? What is the area of this plane?
Sir, L into B.
Very good. This is L into B. So you get minus 3 by 2 P upon BH. So this is the shear stress on this face. Now you look at this as such, this This was the force P. So this force P is caused on this face. So there has to be some vertical force here to balance it. The total force has to be P. What is the area of this face?
So B into H.
So you see, average shear stress on this face has to be B into H. And you see here on this lower face, in the middle face, upper half, you are getting your stress as 3 by 2 P by BH. You see, it is 1.5 times. So what happens is your shear stress is not uniform across the cross section. It is maximum at the central surface of the value 3 by 2 P by BH and 0 at the top and bottom. And the average comes to be P upon BH. You see your shear force diagram for a cantilever. You apply force P here. This has P and some movement here. So you take any section. So force will be, this is P, this is a V. So V is equal to minus P. So your shear force is same across the, for the entire length. And this shear force is generated by shear stress. And shear stress varies, has same variation on every length. Same variation, but variation is given by this. At the top surface, 0. At bottom surface, at the middle surface, maximum. You see this cantilever I am showing you again. I apply force P here. What is the stress on this point, at this point? Lavish? Can you say
Sir,
anything about the value of stress, shear stress at this point?
no sir. Sir, Y
Zero.
direction is 0, but X में कुछ होगा.
X में तो normal stress है. But what are the stresses defined on this point? You can define sigma YY. You can define sigma XY. You can define sigma ZY. Look, this plane has a normal vector in Y direction. So first index has to be Y. And others
Your voice
in
is
the force direction.
clear.
So all of them are 0. So at this plane, at this point, shear stress is 0. While it is maximum at this position. Again 0 here. That is why you get an average of this value and maximum here at the central surface. At the neutral
Sir, your
surface,
voice is not clear.
at the neutral surface, you have maximum shear stress, while you have 0 normal stress. You had seen your normal stress was 0, your bending stress was 0 at the neutral surface, while you see your shear stress is maximum at the neutral surface. Look, I have talked a little more than I should have. But you look at shear force, shear stress is business. In your books, maybe you may understand it. Any questions? So I have already given you a lot of assignment. So in the next class, you are supposed to sit together and work on those assignments. Lavish, you will lead the class. You do some problems from the book and just see how students are doing. So you have next class. When do you have the next class? Monday. Hello, are you guys there? Monday is your next class.
Sir,
You
your
try.
voice is not clear. It's breaking too much.
Okay, then today class is over. Okay.
Sir, nothing is clear. I can't able to hear you.
Today's class is over. Okay.